Hello and welcome to the Deploying on AWS course. Welcome back. This is the second course in our developer-focused series. Here we are going to take a closer look at the many options for deployment. We are building, updating, and fixing our applications, and we want to deploy these applications to an environment. Everywhere I have worked, there have been many environments. An environment for QA testing or staging, and for previous versions of the application. Most importantly, an environment for production. We are not just deploying applications. In the cloud, we are now provisioning and deploying virtual infrastructure. Maybe in previous roles, you worked with a separate operations team responsible for the smooth operation of infrastructure. Let's think about how we can now treat our infrastructure as code. More than one team is involved in this process. We have spoken about QA for testing, operations for infrastructure, and the developers working on the code. In this course, we will look at the processes leading up to and after the deployment. For this, we are going to take a DevOps approach. DevOps brings together the culture of development and operations. DevOps is a flexible framework that can be tailored to your team or organization. As a software engineer, our work doesn't end when a release artifact is handed to the operations team. We want to increase the collaboration between teams, which enables us to release software faster and more frequently. Would you prefer work on a team where a bug fix waits 2 months to be released, or working on a tighter cycle? It is much nicer seeing our work in front of customers at a quicker pace, giving us a faster time to market. A release shouldn't be a scary event. Working to automate this enables us to release more frequently and makes the process less error-prone. We can take a strong focus on the automation and monitoring at all steps in the DevOps process. This course will give you an example workflow for building, testing, provisioning, and deployment. Remember, this is an example. You and your organization will decide on the culture, practices, and tools that work for you. We can walk through the steps we plan to automate. We can group these steps into continuous integration, CI, and continuous delivery, CD. Continuous integration is the build and unit testing stages of the software release process. We will run automated build and test with every commit of code. Code. Software engineers are working on code, and we will want to think about a shared source repository for engineers to commit code. Build. We need a location to build our application. For example, compiling the code. It's best to do this in a clean, consistent environment. This tells us the code coming from our source repository is in a good state. Code in a bad state can hit the productivity of the team. Test. Software engineers are writing code. We are also writing unit tests to test our code. This is where we can perform some code analysis like linting tools. Tests will run with every commit, again giving us immediate feedback on the quality of our code. With continuous delivery, we extend this process. Code changes are automatically built, tested, and prepared for a release. Provision. Now that we have code we are happy with, we can provision a test environment. Here we are turning on the compute, network, and storage resources for our applications. We don't want to do this manually. Within AWS, everything can be scripted, and we can look at products that will help with this. Deploy. We want to automate the process of getting our application installed and configured on our provisioned environment. If we automate this process, we are also capturing a lot of tribal knowledge that could be lost if this was a manual process. Acceptance test. Our code has made it onto our provisioned environment. Now we can perform end-to-end integration tests. This automates many of the sanity tests that you would want to perform to ensure nothing bad has been introduced. But does our process end here? No. Along the way, we are monitoring the software. Continuous automated builds are giving us feedback on the health of the code. Once we are in a production environment, development and operation teams can work together to build monitoring solutions. Again, a tighter feedback loop in our process creates a better quality solution. As we progress through the course, we will return to our CI and CD pipeline and look at the AWS services we can use. Again, welcome to our deployment and everything in between journey.